Pugilism Company, home of the three-piece combos. Man, Errol Spence, he's been here, he's been there, he's been everywhere. Like oxygen. Like oxygen damn near. You look left, you look right, there he is. 11-stop press tour through Manhattan. Him and his team have been to Showtime. They've been to Sports Illustrated. They were on The Breakfast Club, as was Terrence Crawford late last week. Spence was on there yesterday. Pretty big deal to be going through a press tour like that. It signifies just how big of a star he's becoming. It's always a work in progress, but Spence definitely appears to be on the right path. That said, he had a 726,000 peak audience for his fight against Carlos Ocampo. Now, none of us had heard of Carlos Ocampo, or a very small percentage of us had heard of him prior to the fight. So that 726,000 is pretty much all Spence in terms of why that many people tuned in to see that card. This wasn't a stacked doubleheader. It wasn't a triple-header that you just couldn't miss. Granted, there were 2 additional fights televised along with Spence's fight, but no one featured move the needle, if you know what I'm saying. There were no A-list fighters or even B-list fighters beneath Spence on this card. This wasn't Hurd, Charlo, and Lara all on the same card. It wasn't Broner, Tank, and the other Charlo brother either. Like, it wasn't a card of that ilk. Like, this was Errol Spence Jr. pretty much exclusively by himself, and he was drawing ratings. Like, that says a lot. That's pretty meaningful. Pretty meaningful. We're still talking about regular cable television. You know, no one is beating their chest about a pay-per-view presence or A-side, B-side. You know, there's still work to be done. But this is definitely a major step in the right direction. Like this, the Ocampo fight got better ratings for Showtime than Spence versus Lamont Peterson did at Barclays Center earlier this year. This was like their first telecast of the year. It was Spence Peterson, yet Spence Ocampo did better ratings. So that speaks to, like I said earlier, that speaks to EJ's drawing power. The fact that his star is burgeoning, as they say. He also, it's all about management, really, and connections. Because he's with PBC, Earl's fight with Leonard Bundu, it came right after the U.S. men's gold medal basketball game. And it, like, the ratings skyrocketed. You know, there was like 3 or 4 million people, I believe. I'm freestyling. I'm not even cheating and looking, but I believe it was at least that many people who watched Errol Spence fight Leonard Bundu right after the U.S. men's gold medal game. If there was any doubt, not that there was, but Steven Espinosa, head of Showtime Sports, he confirmed the obvious, that Spence will fight once more before the end of 2018. Like, based on what they've seen, and Espinosa noted the lack of damage, obviously, that EJ sustained in a 1-round KO win as reasons why he could confidently say there will be another fight before the end of 2018. along his 11-stop tour, I forgot to mention that Spence, he was on the Stephen A. Smith radio show. Stephen A. with his Dallas Cowboy hating ass, but I get it. You know, you got to go into the lion's den, so to speak. Plus, it's always tongue in cheek. Stephen A. He's a casual boxing fan. He respects Errol. It's good to see EJ interacting with him because he's as good as it gets, or as big as it gets, in terms of sports and media personalities. But within the context of the show, Errol, he stated that he would bet money on Jamal Charlo to beat Canelo Alvarez or Triple G. And he even said he'd be surprised if Triple G even entertained fighting Jamal Charlo. Like that's how EJ put it out there. In other news, we as always, we have Team Canelo and Team Triple G throwing shots at each other in the press leading up to their fight on the weekend of Mexican Independence Day. I hate to even dedicate time to speaking on that, but it is a big fight that people care about and will watch, as will I. We have Claressa Shields, the two-time gold medalist, U.S. gold medalist. She'll be fighting this weekend in Detroit. She's from Flint. She's very much an advocate for improving conditions in her city. And she can fight. So, we'll speak more definitely on that. And I've been promising Sarge that I'll put a women's boxing article on the site. I think it's time for that. I've respected what I've seen lately. And I'm thinking Claressa will do her thing. And, yeah, let's see what happens next. I want to, before I get out of here, Yordenis Ugas, I want to shut all that talk down, like, before it even builds into anything. Ugas, he's the Cuban welterweight. He's next in line at Spence's IBF mandatory. Here's the deal. Please believe, if Errol felt any type of way about facing Ugas, Ugas would not have been on the undercard of Spence's homecoming. That just doesn't make any sense at all. There would be no chance, no dice, no bueno, absolutely no possibility of him being on a Spence undercard. It wasn't televised, his fight wasn't, but he was on the undercard, for those that don't know. There's no chance of that happening if EJ feels any type of way about not wanting to fight him. Like, who would do that? More importantly, what promoter or promotional entity or manager would argue with probably their marquee fighter having a problem with something like that? If Spence had a problem with it, it would not have happened, period. So before the drum beats get too loud on Spence not wanting to fight Yordenis Ugas, no, man. Please. If Ugas seeks out the best guys he possibly can, like in the interim, he could bolster his case with the IBF. I mean, the thing about it is, Spence is getting sanctioning fees charged from the IBF, whether he's fighting a mandatory or not. Anytime he's representing himself as the IBF champion in a title fight, he's paying a sanctioning fee. So the IBF, especially if it comes down to unification, the IBF, they will not pressure Spence to, oh, you got to fight Ugas versus, oh, we get a piece of a unification with the winner of Garcia and Porter. Or we get a sanctioning fee off of the unification between Thurman and Spence. They're not going to forsake that for a fight with Ugas. And it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Jesse Vargas, who EJ has mentioned, is a bigger name. I mean, ditto for Amir Khan. So it's like, whatever makes the most sense, whatever's the biggest name fight. Ugas is not even a name attraction. Not saying he won't fight him. The fight will happen if he keeps himself out there for the next 2 or 3 fights or so. Hey, you'll be accommodated. I have no doubts about it. Anyways, this is Reed, BBS, the Black Burnt Sugar Pugilism Company, out.